I'm Paul Preston. Let's talk business in English. Innovation. That's a word that you hear all the time in the modern business world. You'll hear it on business news. You'll hear it in the conference room, in seminars, on podcasts, on shows like this. Innovation, innovation, innovation. It's an interesting word because even though it's an English word, I can't tell you what innovation means. Maybe you can't tell me either. Because I think innovation is a low-quality word. Low-quality information is information that has a different meaning for every person who hears it. So, low-quality information is going to create different images, different ideas for different people. I'll get into low quality and high quality information in a future show. But for now, let's stick with this idea of what is innovation. Well, one of the problems is that even though innovation is not clearly defined in most cases, everybody thinks that everybody else knows what it means. And everybody thinks it must mean about the same thing for everyone. It doesn't. And that's part of the problem. So, when you are responsible for producing or accomplishing innovation, as most people are in their jobs today, it's very difficult to accomplish or produce something that you don't define first. You can't produce something you don't understand. And that's why innovation needs to be defined in your business world. I think that when people understand what innovation is and what would be considered an innovation, they can work towards those kinds of goals. Well, I know innovation is not definable. Innovation is something that's not predictable. It's a change. It's a game changer. Well, yes and no. Because innovation does require some kind of momentum, some kind of direction. Now, people can go in different directions and look for different innovations, but you still need to find the thing that solves the problem of the company or the consumer or the customer, whatever that customer is. So an innovation does have limitations. It can be defined. It can have boundaries. And so this is where innovation definition is really important in modern business. So I think that one of the ways that you can improve your business communication, especially in English, is to define words like innovation so that everybody can understand what they are. In intercultural situation, you really have a problem because innovations can also have cultural meanings and can have cultural applications and cultural connections. So what might be considered an innovation in one culture might be thought of as unnecessary in another culture. Great example now is the difference between Chinese culture and Japanese culture with how people are paying for goods. Well, using WeChat for paying or Alipay is really the solution for the Chinese consumer, but the Japanese consumer has very little interest. So even though these innovations exist in both cultures, well, turns out in Japanese culture, it's not an innovation at all. It's not a game changer. And so what will be, well, that might be related to the culture itself. It also could be related to how it's presented to the public and how it solves the public's needs. So talking to the public or talking to the consumer, of course, that's going to help you a little bit. But always giving the consumer what they want may not be innovation. But answering the needs of the consumer, whether they know them or not, probably will lead to innovation. So that's my first episode of Let's Talk Business in English. I want to do this regularly and talk about business concepts, business ideas, and business philosophy in English. I hope you can find it useful, and I hope you can apply it in your work, both the English side and the business side. Hey, leave a comment down below and let me know if there's any topics you want me to talk about, and I will be happy to do it. Thanks for joining me. Let's talk business. I'm Paul Preston.